Chapter 15. I stepped into the Elysium tap room and immediately wanted to step right back out. The room was buzzing with people who had just gotten off work, dressed in suits and sipping on beer. Couples sat across from each other in the maroon booths, smiling and laughing, and I wished that I had never gotten myself into this mess with Trayvon. Casey and Maria were telling me to break up with him. Dr. Yu and Mom were telling me not to. And Eros? I didn't know what he was telling me to do, or what he really wanted. Hell, I didn't know what I wanted. All I knew for sure was that I needed a drink. Something, anything, to give me the courage to talk to Trayvon. But I just didn't want it to be spiked again. Trayvon would get angry, and this whole vicious cycle would repeat. I walked to the bar, searching for a place to sit and hoping that Trayvon was still in his office and not on the main floor. My mouth was far too dry to talk to him right now. Eros leaned against the bar top with a drink in his hand, talking to Zane. His back was turned toward me, and his sleeves were pulled all the way up his forearms, giving me a clear view of all his dark tattoos. I sucked in a breath. Well, this is what I got. Tried to avoid Trayvon, run into Eros. God, he was everywhere. Zane nodded his head in my direction, and Eros looked my way. His dark hair was tousled, strands falling onto his forehead, sultry green eyes looking so much softer than they did last night in my room. "What's a sexy little thing like you doing here on a weeknight?" he asked, smirking. "I'm here to see Trayvon." His soft features faded. "I haven't seen him," Zane said. Eros sipped his drink, knuckles white. "He's probably in the back." "Probably," I said, drawing my fingers along the strap of my purse. His gaze flickered from the offices to me, to Zane. When I didn't move, he raised a brow. "I thought you were here to see him." "I am, but I have time." "To talk to you." Eros leaned closer, gaze wandering down my body and lingering on my hips, brow arched. "I bet you do." Zane placed his beer down on the counter. "I'm gonna head out. It was nice seeing you again, Danny." Eros placed his glass on the bar. "Do a favor for me and take Javier on your way out. I don't want to deal with him tonight." Eros gazed back over at me, taking me in. "Javier came with you?" I asked, expecting him to be doing Maria somewhere in the apartment. "Yeah, he's probably drunk off his ass in the bathroom," Zane said, rolling his eyes and heading toward the back. Eros brushed his finger against my blazer, dangerously close to my abdomen, and pulled me closer to him. "Sit down, Danny. Have a drink with me." He lifted 2 fingers to the bartender, asking for 2 shots, then turned back to me. I sat on the stool, knees touching his. "You remember what happened the last time I had a drink at this place, don't you?" "Your drink won't be spiked again." The bartender placed down glasses and carefully poured 2 shots of vodka. He was new. I wondered why they hired him. Usually Samantha worked the bar on Monday nights. When he was finished, he slid them across the counter. I gazed down at the drink, feeling paranoid. "How do you know it's not spiked?" "Danny, you just watched him pour it in front of you," Eros said. So many bad memories had come from this place. I was afraid to try anything. Eros took the glass from me. "If you really want me to make sure..." He brought the drink to his lips like he was going to drink it and sniffed. "All good." "What was that?" His foot brushed against mine. "I was making sure your drink wasn't spiked." "You can do that by smelling it." He clacked his glass against mine and threw the shot back. "I can do a lot of things you don't know about." There was a dark glint in his eyes. I stared at him for a few moments and smiled. He was something else. I sat back in the stool and relaxed, my fingers curling around the glass. I placed it on my lips and threw it back. The alcohol burned the back of my throat, but it was just what I needed. Eros ordered 2 more, and I wasted no time drinking it down again. My head started to feel light. I felt better. Good, even. So damn good. For the first time in a long time, I could just relax. I was working on my 3rd drink. My cheeks were warm. He brushed his foot against mine again, eyes dark in this light. Every time I looked at him, all I could picture were horns on his head and alluring black eyes. So sexy. My gaze lingered on top of his head, and I pressed my knees together. Fuck, Danny, get yourself together. But I couldn't stop staring. My heart was racing. Is there something on my head? Eros asked, eyes studying mine. I licked my lips, trying to moisten them. After wedging one of his knees between mine, he smiled. I watched his soft lips move so effortlessly. What are you thinking about, Danny? He rested his forearm against the bar and leaned closer, fingers trailing down my shoulder. Nothing, I shook my head. Nothing, it's stupid. He chuckled. I think we're past the point of looking stupid in front of each other, don't you think? My cheeks flushed even more. I looked down at my glass, then back at him. I shook my head. Fuck it. You were in my dream last night. His lips curled into a smirk. And, I smiled, looking back down. You were wearing those horns I wore at the Halloween party. I gazed back at the top of his head, gnawing on the inside of my lip. The dream was torturing me. Visions, sensations, feelings of last night replayed over and over in my mind, not letting me think straight once today. It wasn't even real, and here I was, frustrated just by the thought of it. I just thought you looked really, really good in them. He raised a sharp brow. You liked them? Yes. You've been thinking about me with horns. Yes, and my head swayed slightly. And your eyes. I brushed my finger against his cheekbone, heart pounding in my chest. They were so black. He smirked. What do you think of that? I thought a lot about it, but all those thoughts would get me sent straight to hell. So instead of telling him what I really thought, I giggled softly to myself. They were nice. Nice. Yes, very, very nice, I said. I closed my eyes, listening to him chuckle, and smiled. Crazy dream, huh? He sipped the rest of his drink and gazed at the table, looking like he was contemplating something. After a few moments, he gazed back at me. No, not really. What do you mean? I asked, my head feeling light. His fingertips paled around the glass. It's not something we should discuss right now. When? I don't know. He sighed. Why don't you go find Trayvon? But, Danny, please. His voice was quiet. When I tell you, really tell you, there isn't any going back. I'd prefer us to stay like this for now.
You've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. To get up to 4 weeks additional uncensored content, subscribe to the podcast at reamstories.com/AmeliaRoseAudio. Due to content restrictions, explicit sex scenes will only be available through Ream. But if you'd like to continue listening to my free episodes, make sure to hit the follow button to receive updates.